called Cafe Wa. It was a popular later on. Peppermint Lounge, which was popular with Jackie Onassis and who else was that? Jackie Onassis and Frank Sinatra and Marilyn Monroe and others. Grandmaster Flash, I think, started there, and some of these guys from Studio 54. This is about the Cafe Wa, though. That was in Greenwich Village, and Bob Dylan used to hang around there, and Joan Baez. Getting off the bus in Greenwich Village from Taos, New Mexico, I pour my morning purse inside a bottomless cup of Joe. The sunlight seeps through the Cafe Wa logo window. Cafe cappuccino with Boston cream donuts and pounds of delicacy beans to buy. The morning sun gets the new taste of a heavenly high. Through the open door of the cafe I will fly, wearing a hoodie the girls adore, an artist painted by a dream, a fantasy of the world it would seem, sharing the loudly in a heavenly color scheme. Days are getting into a blush's flush sky, makes the world years go by, laughter's cry. Gabriel blowed his horn, his hat was worn, and the universe dying to be born. Inside the up and coming heat storm. John Billett. I'll recite it again. Cafe Wa, getting off the bus in Greenwich Village from Taos, New Mexico. I pour my morning purse inside a bottomless cup of Joe. The sunlight seeps through the Cafe Wa logo window. Cafe cappuccino with Boston cream donuts and pounds of delicacy beans to buy. The morning sun gets the news taste and heavenly high. Through the open door of the cafe I will fly. Wearing a hoodie that gets to get the girls adore. An artist parted by a dream. An artist painted by a dream. A fantasy of the world it would seem. Sharing life loudly in a heavenly color scheme. The days are gaining in a blush's flush sky. Makes the world years fly by. Laughter's cry. Gabriel blowing his horn, his hat was worn, and the universe dying to be born. Inside the up and coming of height storm. John Billett. I'll keep on reciting it until I stop shaking. You don't see me shaking too well, but Cafe Wa. Getting off the bus in Greenwich Village from Taos, New Mexico. I pour the morning purse inside a bottomless cup of Joe. The sunlight seeps through the Cafe Wa logo window. Cafe cappuccino with Boston cream donuts and pounds of delicacy beans to buy. The morning sun gets a new taste and heavenly high. Through the open door of the cafe I will fly. A handle, a hoodie that the girls adore, an artist painted by a dream, a fantasy of the world it would seem, sharing the loudly in a heavenly color scheme. Sharing life loudly in a heavenly color scheme. Days are getting flush bluff sky. Makes the world years fly by. Let us cry. Gabriel blessing the horn as his hat was worn. New verse time to be born. Out inside the up and coming heat storm. John Billett. I'm gonna turn on the light and see whether I can see better. I'll be right back. Cafe Wa. Getting off the bus in Greenbugs Village from Taos, New Mexico. I pour my morning prayers inside a bottomless cup of joe. The sunlight seeps through the Cafe Wall logo window. Cafe cappuccino with Boston cream donuts and pounds of deluxe beans to buy. The morning sun gets the new taste of heavenly high. Through the open door of the cafe I will fly, wearing a hoodie to get the girls adore. An artist painted by a dream, a fantasy the world it would seem, showing us loudly in a heavenly color scheme. The days are gaining in blushes flush sky, making the wonder years fly by. Our laughter's cry. Gabriel blowing his horn as his hat was worn, and the universe is starting to be born inside the up and coming heat storm. By John Baez. I'll try that one again. These are being submitted by writing, but not by voice. They go on LMC TV by voice. It's called Cafe Wah, and as I said, Dylan and Joan Baez used to hang around there, and other beatniks. They were into the beat scene then. I don't think Dylan was into electric guitar then. I don't know if he was responsible for it anyhow, but some say he was. He made a big deal out of it. Cafe Wad, getting off of the bus in Greenbugs Village from Taos, New Mexico. I pour my morning press inside a bottomless cup of joe. The sunlight seeps through the Cafe Wad logo window. Cafe cappuccino with Boston cream donuts and pounds of delicacy beans to buy. This morning sun gets a new taste at a heavenly high. Through the open window of the cafe I will fly. Wearing a hoodie the girls adore, an artist painted by a dream, a fantasy of the world it would seem, sharing this loudly in a heavenly color scheme. The days are gaining in a blushes flush sky, making the world's years fly by. Laughter's cry, Gabriel blowing the horn, his hat was worn, and the universe dying to be born inside the up and coming heat storm. John Baez. Did I stop shaking? I didn't stop shaking. Put out my hands like this. Cafe Wah, getting on the bus in Greenbugs Village from Taos, New Mexico. I pour my running prayers into a bottomless cup. The sunlight seeps through the Cafe Wah logo window. Cafe cappuccino with Boston cream donut and pounds of delicacy beans to buy. The morning sun gets the new taste at a heavenly high. Through the open doors of the cafe I will fly, wearing a hoodie that gets the girls adore, an artist painted by a dream, a fantasy of the world it would seem, sharing the loud life loudly in a heavenly color scheme. The days are gaining in a flush sky, and a blushes flush sky, making the world years fly by. Laughter's cry. Gabriel blowing his horn, his hat was worn, and he was time to be born inside the up and coming heat storm. By John Baez. Cafe Wah, getting off the bus in Greenbugs Village from Taos, New Mexico. I pour my morning prayers inside a bottomless cup of joe. The sunlight seeps through the Cafe Wah logo window. Cafe cappuccino with Boston cream donuts and pounds of delicacy beans to buy. The moving sun gets the news taste in the heavenly high. Through the open door of the cafe I will fly, wearing a hoodie the girls adore, an artist painted by a dream, a fantasy the world would seem, sharing that loudly in heavenly color scheme. The days are getting by a blushes flush sky, making the world years fly by. Laughter's cry, Gabriel blowing his horn, his hat was worn, and the universe time to be born inside the up and coming heat storm. John Baez. You can't see them, but they shake. Cafe Wah, getting off the bus in Greenbugs Village from Taos, New Mexico. I pour my morning prayers inside a bottomless cup of chip. The sunlight seeps through the Cafe Wah logo window. Cafe cappuccino with Boston cream donuts and pounds of delicacy beans to buy. The morning gets the sun, the new taste of a heavenly high. The open doors of the cafe I will fly. Wearing a hoodie that gets the girls adore, an artist painted by a dream, a fantasy of the world it would seem, shaking life loudly in a heavenly color scheme. The days are getting in a flush sky, making the world years fly by. Laugh and cry. Gabriel blowing the horn. Yeah, his hat was worn, and a universe finally born inside an up and coming heat storm. John Billard. Cafe Wa. Getting off into the bus at Greenberg Village from Dallas, New Mexico. I pour my morning person inside a bottomless cup of Joe. Sunlight seeps through the Cafe Wa logo window. Cafe cappuccino with Boston cream donuts and thousands of delicacy beans. Bye. The morning sun gets sweet taste and heavenly high. Through the open door of the cafe I will fly. Wearing a hood the girls adore, and arts painting in a dream. Fancy the world it would seem. Starting the life loudly in the heavenly color scheme. The days of the grind and blushes flush sky. Makes the world years go by. Let us cry. Gabriel blowing his horn, his hat was worn, and the universe dying to be born inside the ever coming heat storm. Cafe Wa. Getting off the bus in Greenbugs Village from Taos, New Mexico. I pour my morning purse inside the bottomless cup of Joe. Sunlight seeps through the Cafe Wa logo window. Cafe cappuccino with Boston cream donuts and pounds of delicacy beans to buy. The morning sun gets the new taste of a heavenly high. Through the open door of the cafe I will fly. Wearing a hood the girls adore, an artist painted by a dream, a fantasy of the world it would seem. Sharing this loudly in the heavenly color scheme. Days are gaining in a blushes flush sky, making the world's years fly by. Laughter's cry. Gabriel blowing his horn, his hat was worn, and the year's time to be born. Inside the up and coming heat storm. John Billard. Cafe Wa. Getting off the bus in Greenbugs Village from Dallas, New Mexico. I pour my morning purse through a bottomless cup of Joe. Sunlight seeps through the Cafe Wa boat logo window. Cafe cappuccino with Boston cream donuts and pounds of delicacy beans to buy. The morning sun gets its new taste in a heavenly high. Through the open door of the cafe I will fly. Wearing a hoodie the girls adore, an artist painted by a dream. A fantasy of the world it would seem. Sharing the loud of sharing life loudly in a heavenly color scheme. The days are gaining in a blushes flush sky. Makes the world years fly by. Laughter's cry. Gabriel blew the horn. His hat was worn. And the universe time to be born. Inside the up and coming heat storm. John Billard. So that was it. Was Cafe Wa, and you know, in those days, that was after the Peppermint Lounge. That was the big thing, Peppermint Lounge. But that I could read later if you want me to. Cafe Wa. Getting off the bus in Greenbugs Village from Taos, New Mexico. I pour my morning prayers inside a bottomless cup of Joe. Sunlight seeps through the Cafe Wa logo window. Cafe cappuccino with Boston cream donuts and pounds of delicacy beans to buy. The morning sun gets the little new taste in the heavenly high. Through the open door of the cafe I will fly. Wearing a hoodie the girls adore. An artist painted by a dream, a fantasy of the world it would seem. Sharing the life loudly in a heavenly color scheme. The days are gaining in a flush sky, making the world years go by. Laughter's cry. Gabriel blowing a horn, his hat was worn, the universe dying to be born. Inside the up and coming heat storm. John Billard. Cafe Wa, getting off the bus in Greenbugs Village from Taos, New Mexico. I pour my morning purse inside a bottomless cup of Joe. The sunlight seeps through the Cafe Wa logo window. Cafe cappuccino with Boston cream donuts and pounds of delicacy beans to buy. The mountain sun gets its new taste of heavenly high. Through the open door of the cafe I will fly, wearing the hood the girls adore, an artist painted by a dream, a fantasy of the world that would seem, sharing life loudly in a heavenly color scheme. The days are getting in the blushes flush sky, makes the world years glide by. Laughter's cry, Gabriel blowing the horn, his hat was worn, a new year of starting to be born, inside the up and coming hate storm. John Baez. Cafe Wa, get the bus in Greenbugs Village from Taos, New Mexico. I pour my morning prayers inside a bottomless cup of Joe. The sunlight seeps through the Cafe Wa logo window. Cafe cappuccino with Boston cream donuts and pounds of doughnuts. Beans to buy. The morning sun gets a new taste in the heavenly high. Through the open doors of the cafe I will fly. Wearing a hood the girls adore, an artist painted by a dream, a fantasy of the world that would seem. Sharing loudly in the heavenly color scheme. The days are getting in the blushes flush sky. Makes the world's years go by. Laughter's cry. Gabriel blowing his horn. The south was warm. The universe starting to be born. Inside the up and coming heat storm. John Billett. Excuse me. Wow. Getting off the bus in Greenbugs Village from Taos, New Mexico. I pour my morning prayers into a bottomless cup of Joe. The sunlight seeps through the Cafe Wall logo window. Cafe cappuccino with Boston cream donuts and pounds of delicacy beans to buy. The morning sun gets the new taste in the heavenly high. As the open doors of the cafe I will fly. Wearing a hoodie the girls adore, an artist painted by a dream, a fantasy by the world it would seem, sharing the loudly in the heavenly color scheme. The days are gaining in a flush dream, making the world years go fly by. Laughter's cry gave you a rolling sworn, his hat was worn, and a universe starting to be born inside the up and coming heat storm. John Billis. I've got 10 minutes. And I gotta go feed the kitty cat. We feed the kitty cat, Cole and I. He's a kitty cat that lives here. He lives downstairs in the basement. That's his hangout. And he comes to the door when we bang the wood. Or when we yell kitty cat, he comes out. Cafe Wad, getting off the bus in Greenbugs Village from Taos, New Mexico. I pour my morning prayers inside a bottomless cup of Joe. The sunlight seeps through the Cafe Wad logo window. Cafe cappuccino with Boston cream donuts and pounds of ducks. Beans to buy. The morning sun gets a new taste in the heavenly high. Through the open door of the cafe I will fly. Wearing a hood, the girls adore, an artist painted by the dream, a fantasy of the world it would seem. Sharing that loudly, the loudly in the sharing life loudly in a heavenly color scheme. Days are gaining in the blushes flush sky, making the world's years go fly by. Laughter's cry, Gabriel blowing his horn, his hat was worn, and the universe signed to be born inside the up and coming heat storm. John Billett. I saw a picture of President Bob Dylan passing the Cafe Wa in a car while she was singing a song. Song was being recorded, so I guess they used that as part of the recording. Very tricky. He's some guy. I forgot the guy's name. I even saw him. He was listed as a friend of somebody who I knew on Facebook. What's his name, man? He used to go through Dylan's garbage. That's what they said. I don't know how true that was, but that was the rumor. Uh, what's his name? I forgot his name, man. It's a long time ago. I used to know it by heart. That was one of the big things about Bob Dylan. You always knew somebody was going through his garbage cans looking for music or something to write by or to copy. Cafe Wa, getting off at the Green Bugs Village from Dallas, New Mexico. I pour my morning prayers inside a bottomless cup of Joe. The sunlight seeps through the Cafe Wa logo window. Cafe cappuccino and Boston cream donuts and delicacy beans to buy. The morning sun gets a new taste out of heavenly high. Through the open door of the cafe I will fly. Wearing a hoodie with the girls adore. An artist painted by a dream. A fantasy of the world it would seem. Sharing sharing life loudly in a heavenly color scheme. The days are getting in a blushes flush sky. Makes the world years go fly by. Laugh and cry. Gabriel blowing his horn. His his hat was worn, and he was from universe time to be born inside the up and coming heat storm. John Billett. It's getting hotter here. You notice the inversion of the Canadian air that came up? I nearly suffocated. I was a heavy smoker at one point. I'm lucky I'm not dead. I smoked for about 40 years. I had brands at Winston, Marlboro Lights, Terrytown, not Terrytowns. Did I smoke Terrytowns? I think Winston's was my main one. And Kent's. I used to smoke Kent's like crazy. 2 packs a day, 2.5 packs a day. I'm lucky I'm alive, man. I'm not getting on lung cancer. I quit a long time ago. But I'm not scheduled to be here for very long, I don't think. You never know. I might check the doctors. I might check myself. I haven't come down with anything yet. I'm just waiting to. I had my stomach cut open and stapled together so the guts wouldn't pour out. That was major surgery. But that was just because I had fistula bladder operation. And they staple your stomach with big staples. And look at it, it's gross, man. Cafe Wa. Getting off the bus in Green Bugs Village from Dallas, New Mexico. I pour my morning prayers inside a bottomless cup of Joe. The sunlight seeps through the Cafe Wa logo window. Cafe cappuccino with Boston cream donuts and pounds of delicacy beans to buy. The morning sun gets the new taste to a heavily high. Through the open doors of cafe I will fly. Wearing the hoodie the girls adore, an artist painted by a dream, a fantasy of the world it would seem. Sharing the beauty, the loudly, sharing life loudly in a heavenly color scheme. The days are gaining in a flusher sky, making the world fly by. Laughter's cry, Gabriel blowing the horn, his hat was worn, and a universe dying to be born. Inside the up and coming heat storm. John Billett. That was nice. So So far, I have 24 minutes and 59 seconds of reading, and I plan to get to an hour. So Cafe Wa, getting off the bus in Greenbugs Village from Taos, New Mexico. I pour my morning prayers inside a bottomless cup of joe. The sunlight seeps through the Cafe Wa logo window. Cafe cappuccino with Boston cream donuts and pounds of delicacy beans to buy. This morning sun gets to a new taste and a heavenly high. Through the open door of the cafe I will fly. Wearing a hoodie the girls adore, an artist painted by a dream. A fantasy of the world it would seem. Sharing life loudly in a heavenly color scheme. The days are gaining in a blushes flushed sky, making the world's years fly by. Laugh and cry. Gabriel blowing his horn, his hat was worn, and a universe time to be born. Inside the up-and-coming heat storm. Joan Baez. I have to go see the kitty cat. Carl's gonna come busting in here. He's gonna say, "You gotta feed kitty cat. You got an obligation, son. You better not get lost up on me because I get tired. I get tired of everything you do." He's going through chemo. I'm not going through chemo. He went through it. He went through his regimen. So he was tired, but he gets up early now. Gets up earlier than I do. I'm lazy. I don't want to feed the cat no more. I'm sick of feeding the cat. Meow, meow. Now, wow. Read your cat story. Read your cat story, too. I have a cat story to read about the cat. El Gato. Reg El Gato. Rex the king cat. King kitty cat. King Rex the cat. Rex the king cat. King Rex the cat? Senor Rey El Gato. Senor King the cat. Cafe Wa. Getting off the bus in Greenbugs Village from Taos, New Mexico. I pour my morning prayers inside a bottomless cup of joe. Cafe cappuccino with Boston cream donuts and pounds of delicacy beans to buy. The morning sun gets to taste it heavenly high. Through the open door of the cafe I will fly. Wearing a hoodie to get the girls adore. An artist painted by the dream. A fantasy of the world it would seem. Sharing the life loudly in a heavenly color scheme. Days are gaining in a blushes flushed sky. Makes the world fly by. Laughter's cry. Gabriel blowing his horn. His hat was worn, and the universe time to be born. Inside the up-and-coming heat storm. Joan Baez. I was thinking putting tropical storm, but heat storm. I got to admit, I said what I thought somebody else would say, and you shouldn't write that way. You should write what you want to say. Not what you think somebody else wants to say. What they think other people want them to say. People act the way the other people want them to act. People do everything the way other people want them to do. I want to write independently and create independently and talk independently, and then I'll be a slave to everybody. Hold on, I gotta go.